All right, let's talk about the Seattle Seahawks. This is a team first place in their division, of course. It's been kind of a wild ride for Seattle. They had a great start to the year, a little bit of a losing streak. Things are trending in the right direction now, though, building momentum at the perfect time. And a big part of that momentum has been some smart changes that key coaches have been making that have improved this team, put in a position to win a title. We're going to break down all of that today. Exciting news out of Seattle. I'm Nick, and this is Saturday Morning Inspection. All right, the Seahawks first place in their division heading into an absolutely massive Sunday night football matchup against the Green Bay Packers. We're going to see how good the Seahawks team is Sunday night, and I think a lot of people are going to be surprised. I think they've got a chance to make some serious noise in the NFC. The way they've been playing recently, a big part of the improvement is due to some changes being made by offensive coordinator Ryan Grubb, obviously new to Seattle, new to the National Football League. Some ups and downs early, but he seems to have calibrated working with the star players to get this team headed in the right direction. Let's pull up a report highlighting just an example of what Grubb has done, according to SI.com. Grubb is the engineer of the scheme. There have been growing pains with long stretches of fruitless possessions at times, but no first time NFL coach will be perfect in their first season. The attention to detail post by, as DK Metcalf mentioned, has been critical. That's setting the culture of the offense. We've been meeting after practice together, so the communication is more open, so we get to make more adjustments on the fly because I hear what Gino is thinking inside the meeting with Grubb right here coaching him, Metcalf said. We could just ask more questions on my routes or in the run game with the offensive line sitting in here as well. The running backs know how to hit the hole a specific way, or Geno Smith knows how to hand the ball off a specific way. So just the communication aspect has been different. All right, so what Metcalf is highlighting here is just the change Grubb has enacted post buy in terms of getting the Seahawks in meetings and their structures and communication. And that has gone a long way, just helping the efficiency and even more importantly, the consistency of this offense. At times they've been great. At times they move the ball against anybody, but the inconsistency has hurt him. It looks like Ryan Grubb has fixed a lot of these problems and his star players have noticed. And I think that makes the Seahawks team very dangerous because we know Mike McDonald will get this defense in a good spot. Miles, I know you've got some thoughts on this, but first, Seattle fans in the comment section below, give us your prediction. Final score, massive, absolutely massive game. Great game. Seahawks Packers this Sunday night. Let us know what you think the final score will be in the comment section below. But Miles, what are your thoughts on the Seattle Seahawks news?
Yeah, Nick, I think this is really good news for the Seahawks as far as the guy that they hired being the right guy, because sometimes these new coaches come in and they try to change too much stuff, or they like, okay, I'm going to stick with my program, stick with the regular scheduled things. We can grind through the year. We don't got to make any changes. We can do it afterwards. And that's not what you want either. It seems like Ryan Grubb has made the right amount of changes at the right time to keep this team going. Because if I told you, Nick, weeks 4 through 9, the Seahawks went 1-5. And as you said, they're leading the division. Not many people would say that that is very plausible. It's very difficult to go 1-5 in that time period and still come out ahead in the division. So, very good news for the Seahawks. They're able to pull that off, obviously, after the bye. 4-0, everyone knows it. And I have a graphic here, just kind of overall PFF grades and just the performance of this Seahawks offense. We're going to take a look at it here. You see, the consistency is what we were talking about. Very first game of the season, they start off hot, highest grade of the year, that 91 overall grade. And the next two games, they did pretty good. But then we hit that slump of weeks, 4 through 9. Just not a great showing for the Seahawks. Very inconsistent all over the ball. Then you come down to these last couple of weeks, talking weeks 11 through 14, the last 4 weeks of the season. They get back to consistency, and what does that show? More winning. You see more consistent green across the board in all aspects of the game. I think this is the key here, is Grubb being able to take all of these guys into the room together. Everyone usually splits up into the quarterback room, the receiver room, lineman room, but making a more concerted effort he has of extra time of the whole offense being together in meetings, just going over everything together. Like Metcalf said, everybody being on the same page. I think that's huge. And for a young coach to take that, he's not a young coach as far as experience, but in the NFL, he's a pretty young coach. For him to take that initiative, that leadership, and really kind of drive this team forward and impress a very veteran, a very talented player in DK Metcalf, I think that boasts very highly that the Seahawks And head coach Mike McDonald absolutely made the right hire in Ryan Grubb. I think he seems like he's doing a fantastic job, and that this is going to be a team that is going to be very dangerous down the stretch because they know if they're having problems, how to adjust and how to be better from them going forward.
We've done some Seahawks film reviews over the past couple weeks talking about a rookie offensive guard. Of course, you guys can go check it out if you're interested in our Seahawks playlist, which will be at the end of this video as always. But one thing we talked about in the film review, and I think this is something Grubb kind of highlights here and what we're observing, is the Seahawks offense is really simplifying things, right? A lot of times what happens is these new coordinators go to a new scheme, they get really excited because they get all these great ideas. And like, oh, I've got DK Metcalf, I got Jensen Smith and Jigba, Geno Smith, right? I could do all kinds of crazy things, create all kind of awesome plays and score 40 a game. I've got so much talent. But the other guy gets a vote, right? The defenses get a vote. And then you deal with some injuries on the O-line and you have a bad weather game, timing's a little off first year, right? All kinds of issues. Suddenly the performance gets inconsistent and volatile. But sometimes you can just simplify it. Just say, all right, let's get all on the same page. Let's just run some base stuff, run stuff we know works. Let's communicate, get everyone working together. And lo and behold, you get less volatility, you become more consistent. Because this is a team in the Seattle Seahawks, if they can kind of moderate the range of performances, right? Because this is a team I think that can beat anybody. We showed it, right? But they can also, for a while, they're lose to anybody. By God, they lost to the New York Giants, right? I mean, this is a team that literally beat the San Francisco 49ers. They obliterated the Atlanta Falcons, right? They obliterated the Arizona Cardinals last week. Cardinals fighting for a playoff berth, getting everything they could. But this is also a team that got beat by the New York Giants. The inconsistency has killed Seattle all season long. I think the moves we've seen from Ryan Grubb post-bye will help minimize that volatility, keep the range of performances within a much narrow band with the talent they have on this team, should allow them to finish this division out, win the NFC West, and make a run this postseason. Because I know everyone's talking about the Detroit Lions. They're a really good team, but they're beatable. The Eagles are beatable. The NFC South is a dumpster fire, right? There really isn't, outside of what people think the Detroit Lions are, an unstoppable force in the NFC, and I don't think the Lions are unstoppable. The Seahawks, by keeping things simple, letting McDonald take over this defense, do amazing things, they can make some serious noise in the postseason. They're trending in the right direction.